The wind howled across the rocky shore as the sun dipped behind the horizon, painting the waves in strokes of molten gold and crimson. The sea was restless, crashing violently against the cliffs as though it carried within it 1,000 unsaid stories, 1,000 broken promises. On that cold evening, a young fisherman named Adrian stood at the edge of the dock, his eyes locked on the waves, searching for something, or perhaps someone, that the ocean had taken from him long ago. His heart ached with a longing he could never explain, a feeling that had haunted him since childhood. People in the coastal town of Morales called it the sea's curse, but Adrian knew it wasn't a curse. It was a memory, faint, distant, but unforgettable, of a voice that once called his name beneath the tides. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps keep stories like this alive. Adrian had grown up by the sea. His father was a fisherman, his mother a lighthouse keeper. The ocean was in his blood, yet he always felt a strange pull, a sense that the waves whispered only to him. He often dreamed of a girl with long silver hair and eyes as blue as the deep, who sang to him from beneath the water. When he awoke, the melody lingered like the scent of rain, familiar, beautiful, and just out of reach. People teased him, saying he was cursed by the sea or simply a dreamer lost in myths. But Adrian could never forget that night, years ago, when he almost drowned during a storm, and a mysterious hand had pulled him back to the surface. He had felt warmth, seen eyes full of light, and heard a voice whisper his name before he fainted. When he woke, he was on the shore, alive and alone. As time passed, the sea became both his comfort and his torment. He spent every evening by the cliffs, staring at the horizon. Then one summer morning, as he cast his net near the reef, he noticed something shimmering below. Thinking it was a fish caught in sunlight, he leaned over and froze. Beneath the clear water was a woman. Her skin glowed like moonlight, her hair floating around her like silk. She wasn't a creature of myth. She was real, breathing, and looking right at him. Startled, Adrian stepped back, nearly losing balance, but she raised her hand gently as if asking him not to fear. For a long moment, neither moved. Then she smiled, a soft, heart-aching smile, before vanishing into the waves. That night he couldn't sleep. Her image was etched in his mind, the same face from his dreams, the same eyes that had saved him years ago. The next morning, he returned to the reef. Hours passed, the tide rose, and just when he thought she wouldn't appear, the water shimmered again. She surfaced, silent and graceful, her eyes filled with a strange sadness. She spoke softly, her voice carrying the rhythm of the sea itself. "You should not be here, fisherman." Adrian's heart raced. "I've seen you before," he said. "You saved me." She looked away, her gaze on the horizon. "It was forbidden," she whispered, "but I could not let you die." Her name was Serenya, the daughter of a sea guardian, one of the watchers who protected the balance between land and ocean. Long ago, when a storm wrecked Adrian's boat, she had disobeyed the laws of her realm to save him. Since that day, she had watched him from afar, unable to forget the warmth of his heartbeat, the light in his eyes when he first saw her. And though she lived beneath the waves, she carried his memory in every tide, every moonlit current. But love between their worlds was forbidden. The sea and the shore were never meant to touch. Days turned into weeks as Adrian kept returning to the same place. Serenya would appear at dawn or twilight, always cautious, always distant. They talked about everything, the world above, the silence below, the loneliness they both carried. She told him stories of coral kingdoms and glowing caves, of the sea's hidden songs. In return, he spoke of the stars, the taste of rain, and how sometimes the sea looked like it was smiling at him. But love, like the tide, cannot stay still. One evening, under a rising full moon, Adrian confessed what he felt, a love that had grown silently within him, stronger than fear, stronger than reason. Serenya trembled, her heart torn between duty and desire. "If I choose you," she whispered, "I lose my world forever." Adrian took her hand, his voice breaking. "Then let me share your world, Serenya. Let me love you where the sea begins." For the first time, she smiled without sorrow. "The sea does not accept mortals," she said. "It changes them. It remembers every sin, every wish." But as her fingers touched his, the waves around them glowed, and for a moment, it felt as if the ocean itself had stopped breathing. Their love became a secret rhythm, meeting by the reefs, under storms, in the stillness before dawn. Yet, nothing escapes the ocean's gaze. Word of Serenya's disobedience reached her farther. The guardian of the depths, furious, he summoned her and warned that the surface world had always brought destruction. "Love for a human will drown you both," he said. "You belong to the sea, and he belongs to the wind." But Serenya refused to let go. She believed their love could bridge the divide, that maybe, for once, the sea could forgive. One night, as a violent storm rolled in, Adrian waited by the cliffs, his lantern flickering in the wind. The waves crashed wildly, but he refused to leave. He knew Serenya would come. She always did. When she surfaced, her eyes were full of fear. "They're coming for me," she said. "My kind knows I've crossed the line. I don't have much time." Adrian reached for her, but the wind howled louder, and the sea roared in anger. "Then come with me," he pleaded. "We'll run far away from this place." Serenya shook her head, tears mingling with the rain. "If I leave the sea, it will rage. It will take lives to reclaim balance. I can't do that to your world." The storm grew worse. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the terror in her eyes. She pressed her palm against his cheek. "If I could live two lives, one would be yours." With that, a powerful wave rose behind her. In a blinding flash, she was gone, swallowed by the ocean's fury. Adrian screamed her name, but the sea answered with silence. He collapsed on the wet rocks, broken, his heart echoing with the memory of her touch. Days turned into months. The villagers said the storm was a punishment for his madness, for loving what was never meant to be. Adrian stopped fishing. He stopped speaking. Every night, he went to the cliffs and sang the melody she once hummed to him. The ocean remained still, as if mourning with him. Then, one quiet dawn, as he watched the tide roll in, he saw something gleaming by the shore, a seashell, unlike any he had seen before, shaped like a heart, glowing faintly. He picked it up, and when he pressed it to his ear, he heard her voice, soft, gentle, and full of love. "The sea remembers." From that day, Adrian built a small sanctuary by the shore, a lighthouse for lost sailors, a place where anyone could find warmth and hope. He believed that every wave carried someone's story, and every tide was a second chance. And sometimes, when the moon was full and the wind was quiet, people claimed they saw a figure in the water, a woman with silver hair watching from afar, her gaze fixed on the man who once loved her. Years passed. Adrian grew old, but his love for Serenya never faded. On his last night, he sat by the dock with a glowing seashell in his hand. The sea was calm, as if waiting. "I've kept my promise," he whispered. "I've never stopped loving you." As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, the water shimmered, and out of the mist, she appeared once more. Ageless, radiant, the same as the day he met her. "You waited," she said softly. He smiled, tears falling like rain. "I knew you would come." She reached out her hand, and when their fingers touched, the world around them dissolved into light. The sea carried them both into its embrace, peaceful and eternal. The villagers found the lighthouse door open that morning, Adrian's chair empty, the seashell resting on the table, glowing faintly beside a note. It read, "Love is not bound by time, nor by world. It is the tide that returns, always, even when the shore has forgotten." And so, they say that when the waves sing at night near Morales, it's not the wind, it's Serenya and Adrian, dancing between two worlds, reminding all who listen that love, even when forbidden, never truly dies. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps these tales live on for others who still believe in love and miracles. Before you go, tell us in the comments, do you believe true love can cross any boundary, even between sea and land?